It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that subscribes to my show and show me love. And like I always said, without you guys, there wouldn't be no legends. In the house of the legends, I have legends. These three sisters have been around for a very long time. They've topped the charts. And they made everybody dance back in the days because when I was getting stuff from Salsoul, everything I got from Salsoul from them was hot. And in the house of the legends, I bring you Ladies of Skyy. Welcome to the Legends.
We're happy to be here, Tyrone.
So let's talk about the beginning for you guys because you guys grew up in Bed-Stuy.
That's correct.
I grew up in Crown Heights, so we weren't too far from each other.
Right, that's right.
Do or die, Crown Heights.
Yep, that's it.
That's right.
So we're going to start with you, Dolores. You know, how was it as a kid growing up with your sisters? How did you actually interact? I know y'all probably been a fight and stuff like that, but
Well, we had disagreements.
okay.
My mother didn't allow us to fight.
Okay.
That was not going to happen. But being the middle sister out of out of three, it's sort of like, it was different. That's all I'm gonna say. I felt like I was a ping pong ball at some times, but then I also felt like these were my bookends that always kept me grounded and kept
Right.
me in the middle. Yeah.
Okay, so they kept you self-centered.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's right. And Denise, how was it with you growing up as far as dealing with your sisters?
Oh my goodness. Well, being the oldest,
Right.
my fondest memories are when my mother, we would travel on the bus anywhere.
Okay.
And my mother would be probably carrying Bonnie.
Okay.
And my favorite memory of Bonnie actually is carrying her with those big white shoes on her feet. I know most folks remember those big white shoes that they'd put on children when they first started walking. But
Right.
Mommy would be carrying her, and I would have her hand, and I'd have the change to put in the bus. And so I was in charge of doing that. But my mother raised us to be loving towards
Okay.
one another.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? She had, there was a lot of love in our home at all times. And we were like triplets. I didn't even realize that I was older than them until I got a senior in high school when I could finally when I could finally split from them, because she made sure that we did everything together. If you go together, you come together. And so that's why to this day we're still together.
Yes, yeah.
And Bonnie. Now, let me ask you a question. Out of all of you guys, who's
Right.
the most humorous one?
I think I am.
Really?
No, but you know what? We all have our moments.
Right, right.
Because we come from humor. Our parents were funny. My mother was, if anybody out there who knew my mother, our mother was hysterical.
Right.
So there was always a lot of laughter in the house. And I think to this day, the three of us always say things that my mother used to say, but we're always laughing about
Right,
something.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, really, it depends on the moment.
Right.
You know, who's the funniest?
So this question is for everyone. How did you guys gain the common interest of music?
Wow. Our aunt, well, we always played music in the house. My dad had one of those stereos that was like huge Magnavox, and we would stack records. That's when you
Right.
could stack.
You know, I had an
records.
addiction for that when I was a
Did
little
you?
kid.
Oh, no,
The little 45s.
Oh no, we
Look at
would,
that.
well, my dad
Well,
had
I had the
16s.
I had the long
The long
stencil,
spindle.
and I used to like to just stack the records on
Exactly.
it. Then after the record ends, I used to like it just drop.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just
yeah.
love
and
it.
that
So
was
you were
like the
setting it
best
up
thing
even
ever.
as a child, right? Before we got to really be a
But I used
DJ.
to sit on the floor with the headphones on and just listen to, my father did, he had Duke Ellington and a genre of music.
Right.
And then we always had the 45s with Motown, and my dad also had a lot of gospel records from years ago, like the 16s, this big, huge, thick record.
Wow, yeah, okay.
So that we used to play at my grandmother's house. So we were always around music, always.
And then in school, you know, once we got into high school, well, my Aunt Sadie took me to my first concert.
Right.
And it was an opera singer. I don't know if people realize how prominent opera was among blacks during that time in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s. But she bought me my first Emini organ. And then once we got into school, then we started joining choruses every chance we got because we were already, excited about performing, and we realized we could sing.
And then she also gave us a reel-to-reel.
Okay.
With the microphone.
Was it a TAC? I don't know.
Yes, I don't even remember what it was called. But we used to get in front of the mirror and sing sometimes 3 different songs. And it used to drive our mother crazy. She used to make us go sit down somewhere. But we used to, it was just music was all, I think singing was always just in our blood. And it's funny because Denise and Dolores started singing in high school first.
Right.
I was a clarinet player.
Okay.
But then I went to a talent show that Denise, Dolores, and our good friend Deborah sang in.
We were
and
the 3Ds at the
right,
time.
at the 3Ds.
Okay.
And we went to a talent show. Now, I was still in junior high school. We
Right.
went to a talent show then, and I said, that's what I really want to do because we could sing. And so the next year, I sang in the talent show with them. I didn't even go to the school, but they snuck me
They
in.
stuck you in
They
there?
stuck around. We sure did.
Sure
did.
Wow.
But that's where our love, our love really for music came. We were taught by the
started with
same
family.
choral teacher.
Yeah.
So what made you guys get together and say we're going to actually get together and do something quite serious as far as a career?
So that just sort of morphed after we. This is very strange.
Right.
After we finished high school, we were
high
singing in high school, but
Remember
as
Mr.
far as
Bernstein wanted us to
oh,
sign
that's
with
true. We
Motown.
almost got a
Almost.
deal. Almost.
Almost.
And Mama
Got a
said-
deal with
Mother
Motown
said
Records
maybe.
because
Okay.
we were so good
Right.
at that high school talent show, and we actually did have a live
Oh,
band.
y'all go to FDR?
Yeah.
We all went to
Okay.
FDR,
That's
yeah.
right.
So Deborah's brothers had a band, and that's who we performed with in the talent shows. And Mr. Bergstein, who was the band leader at FDR High School, they had a really rich music program
music
at our
program.
high school.
Right.
Said, wait a minute, y'all can really sing, and tried to get us a deal with Motown Records, and came and had this whole conversation with my mother about it. My mother was like,
No?
She didn't even.
I don't
she
want
didn't
my girls
flinch.
doing that right now.
Really?
But what she said was, when they are ready, and if that's what they want to do, then they are welcome to do that.
Well, I think in your mother's eyes, is probably her main factor is probably just education
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's exactly. And
You know,
also
to build
she
that
was,
foundation around you so you'll be able to acknowledge certain
Exactly.
things that goes
Exactly.
on with
yes,
you guys.
and a protection for us as well, because
Right.
We were young.
we were young and really kiddified, as I
Yeah.
might, if I may use a word that doesn't exist. Y'all kiddified. But once we left high school and we were still doing singing around,
Yeah.
that's how we got this opportunity to become professionals when we met Randy Muller.
Okay. Speaking of Randy, man, last time I spoke to Randy, he was actually overseas in England
Okay.
and stuff, and I was actually supposed to do a show with him. Pandemic came.
No.
So you know how it
Messed
is.
up everybody.
That's how I got you guys on the first time, because I actually wanted to have you here in the studio.
Right.
Yes.
First time.
That's right.
but
And we did it.
Pandemic. And
by Zoom or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you read Randy and Solomon, how did things actually start to engage?
That is
Well,
interesting.
that's a funny story because at that time it was 4 of us
Right.
singing, and we were the Sound of Soul. I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
The Sound of Soul, and our a
No,
woman.
Or were we Dial Ray?
Not that I don't know. We hadn't had so many names.
I know, right?
The woman that we used to babysit for, her husband was the talent coordinator, if I
For the
remember
Miss Black
correctly,
America New
for
York
the Miss
State.
Black America New York pageant in 1973.
Right.
And so we used to sing at different events, in the projects or whatever, Lafayette Gardens. And so we used to sing at different events. So he said, why don't y'all come and audition, to sing
with
at
the
the
house
pageant,
band.
Right.
And so we went to audition, and he told, Randy and them, I got these four girls, like they was like, yeah, they can sing. And so we auditioned with the Temptations a cappella Old Man River, because that was our song, you
Right.
know. And he was like, yeah, these girls.
Yeah, they
really
can sing. Yeah.
you know
By the
what
way,
I'm saying?
you're absolutely
You're
right. Yeah. So
absolutely-
that's how we met Randy. And ultimately, Solomon used to always be in the periphery taking
Yes.
pictures.
Right.
He was a photographer.
And so
Right,
we
he
spent,
was, yes.
yeah, he was always taking pictures. And so we spent some time at that point opening for Brass Construction
Right.
with our, with our group. And one day when Randy finally got a deal for Brass Construction, he was like, well, there's way too many people to be
Way too
dragging
many.
around on the
Right.
road. Because, they about 25 in Brass Construction. So he was like, this is Solomon. Solomon has a band. And we like, wait a minute, he's the photographer. What do you mean he's got a band? And come to find out, Saul
had a
played
band.
drums
Had a
and
band.
was a prolific writer, producer himself. So
And
that's how it
Butch
all
was
got started with
guitar.
Solomon.
And,
Yeah.
And
Gerald was bass.
Gerald
was bass.
Yeah.
And
Oh, we
y'all
had a
sung-
different bass player at first. We had a Butch Miller
Right.
was
Yes.
bass player at first, and then we got Gerald.
Gerald.
So then that the six of us were the core of Skyy at that time.
And did y'all sing background for the Brass Construction at the time?
Yes.
Or-
Yes, yes,
We
we
did
did Brass Construction,
Mark Radice,
Mark Radice,
So they had
Charles
wasn't all three-
Earl.
Charles Erlin,
Right.
Cameron.
Cameron, yeah.
Anybody who Randy was producing
Right.
at the time,
He
we
always-
did background vocals.
Because I know Brass Construction did 3 albums. Did y'all actually do background on all 3 of them?
I
I
want to
think
say
I
we probably
did.
did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know the very first one we
We
were,
did,
you know,
yes,
we were
I
in
think
on.
we
and we
Moving
did
on,
the last one,
moving
Walking the
on.
Line.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
And then we
Walk on the
did,
Line.
like Dolores said, anything that Randy was involved in project-wise, even without Brass Construction, he always made a point of bringing us in as background singers.
So how did you guys engage with Salsoul? I mean,
Man, that was some of the best years
Yes.
that we've had. First of all, we appreciated Salsoul because they were prepared to receive the group in its entirety. Randy and Saul recorded the first album and shopped it around. And there were different mixed reactions from the various labels that they presented it to. Oh, we want the girls. Oh, we just want the guys. This, that, whatever the
Right.
problem was. But Salsoul was just in a wonderful position. And as you well know, they had already a major roster of artists.
Yes.
Yes.
Name them, y'all. Name them, y'all.
Holloway,
Lita Holloway, thank you.
Joe Bataan,
First choice.
First
First
Choice,
Choice, yeah.
Salsoul Orchestra,
Double Exposure.
Cal
Double
Williams,
Exposure,
yeah.
Right.
Carol, so they just had
And
a
Instant
big,
Funk.
Double
So
Exposure, yeah.
we
You
just
sort of
kind
just-
of came in
Right.
on the tail end. Actually, I believe we were either the
The
last
last
or the
ones they
next to
signed, I
last
think.
act to sign
With
with
Salsoul.
Salsoul. Because Aura was also somewhere around that
Right.
time.
because I remember playing at Copacabana when I heard First Time Around.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
Then there was a part on there because you know how the sound system is in the Copacabana.
Yes,
So it was a
yes.
boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
And I used to shatter the bass line with that.
Yes. Well,
First Time Around was a great club, and that's
Very
the
much.
one thing
Super
about
Because
club
it was roughed and it smoothed out with the keyboards.
Yes.
That's right.
And it
But
was
that's that
very-
Randy, you know what I mean?
Randy's
Randy's signature of
Right.
being able to combine, and that does come from him being educated, in music. I believe he
Right.
went to
Juilliard.
Juilliard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So he had that arrangement thing down pat. And First Time Around was our first
And it
album,
was a
first
Right, right.
single to
It
be.
was a,
Yeah,
you know,
because I had
we-
got on the 12-inch from
Yeah, it was a
Salsoul
club
as a
song.
promo.
And I think
Right.
Larry
And when I
and
heard it,
Dan
I
did
was like,
500
wow.
mixes of it too.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it was
that
something-
record
different.
allows us
Yeah.
to be in the disco era, though.
That's
When
right.
you think about that was the tail end of disco,
Right.
and that song
just sort
hit
of zipped
in,
right
in
in.
that area.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come right back and with Ladies of Skyy, and you guys stay tuned.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the legendary Ladies of Skyy.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
And we're back. The show is called The Legends, and in the house of the legends, I have the legendary ladies of Skyy in the house. My question to you guys is, the very first show that you ever did, what was running through your mind?
Where were the outfits? No. That was the second show. Sorry.
Wait, the very first show we ever did as Skyy,
Yes.
I don't even remember what that was.
Well, let's go to the very first professional show we did at Skyy, which
Right.
was at Madison Square Garden, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
We did.
Well-
We did Browns Mills, New Jersey. We did some smaller
Right, some
things, but the first
smaller
major
was Madison
show.
Square Garden.
Yes.
No, it was Radio City.
No,
No.
Radio City came way later. 82.
Way later.
Yeah. Okay.
Radio
Yeah.
City was way.
That's
but
why
I
Mommy
think
had three
it-
of us, so somebody
Right.
gets
Yes,
to the
I
real
think
thing
it
that
was
really happened.
Madison Square Garden.
Madison
and then
Square
we
Garden
went from
was the-
Madison Square Garden to
Cap Center.
Capitol Center, and I think it was us. I want to say Crown Heights, and I want to say you taking us way back. I'll think about it before I leave.
Okay.
here,
Yeah, but I
we
mean,
went from there
for us in terms of how we felt, it was very
Because we did home.
exciting
We were doing
because
home.
we did
Yeah.
our home date
Our
first,
home, you know,
and
New
so
York.
half that audience was filled with people that knew us,
knew.
and
Right.
there was a little bit of nervousness, but
Oh, yeah.
we
little.
were very well rehearsed. The one
yeah.
thing that Solomon always, to this
Extremely
day,
well
even
rehearsed.
we still can't
Oh,
get out
my
from under
God.
that, insist upon is rehearsal, because in the beginning, when we first started out, you come out there, you're a little nervous, but rehearsal allows you to be on autopilot. Your muscle
Yeah.
memory kicks
and
in.
the audience allows.
And
you
the
to
audience,
Right.
well, the audience
you know,
is the
the
feedback.
audience is
Yeah.
because you have the nervousness, but once you get on the stage and you see how well the audience are receiving you,
Yeah.
then
And
your
people start screaming your
nervousness
name, then you're
starts
like,
to, starts to fade away.
And singing
So-
the words.
And
That's
singing the
always,
words.
that was
That
a
was
big
always a
surprise.
plus.
What, they know the words? This
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
The funniest things happened. One morning I woke up and you guys was on the news. I was like,
What did we do? What did we do?
Okay.
Are they running?
Right, were we running?
it was like hilarious, and whatnot. So I called Lena. I
that
said,
was
they
CBS
on the
News?
news.
Yeah,
Was that CBS? I
that
think
had
it
to
might
be
have been the
CBS.
CBS
Yeah, that
show.
was
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
kind of exciting. My question to you guys is that, and it's very important that people know this, because you guys been around for a very long time.
Yes.
What kind of influences can you tell people that are actually upcoming right now into the business and things of that nature, like the ups and the downs and things of that they might be aware of?
So, the interesting thing is now that the state of the business has changed
Most
because,
definitely.
Yes.
and we've learned that because we're no longer signed to a record label.
Right.
Back then, there was an order of things.
Right.
So you were either, in our case, signed to a production company, which was signed to the label, or other artists were signed directly to the label. And there was a lot of record keeping that needed to go on to keep track of your sales, your airplay, and,
Oh, yeah,
and your money. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but now artists can do everything themselves.
Yes.
Right.
In this independent state of affairs.
Well,
for the music
technology has
industry,
allowed that.
Yeah.
Technology
Yes.
definitely has
Yes.
allowed that to happen. But the thing I think we want people to understand mostly is be yourself, be real, be authentic, right? We're also big on how you present yourself because we have a certain standard. Like people send us music and we're like,
No,
That's not
Not saying
quite
that.
how we want to
Yeah.
represent ourselves.
Right.
And I'm
What-
not trying to cramp anybody's artistic style,
Right.
because a lot of that does sell.
Yes,
And
yes,
so in the
yeah.
minds of many, it's like I have to go down
Right.
that path.
Right.
but you don't have to go.
But
down.
don't
But it all depends. You don't want to put a blemish
right. And
on
so
you
you
on your
well,
yeah. What I was
character.
going to say is
That's
that
what
you
we're
don't
talking
want
about.
to, like 10 years, 15 years from now, and you don't want your children or your grandchildren to hear what you or see what you were doing.
Right.
Because
right.
now
See,
yeah,
the
nothing's
thing-
a secret anymore.
Right. So
Okay.
you want to, if you're going to be true to yourself, make sure that 15, 20 years down the line, you're going to look back and say, that was good.
And I'm going to say one more thing: have a good team behind you.
That's right.
Right.
We
One of
have
the
an
things,
excellent
yeah,
team.
speak to that, Bonnie, because we have an amazing team.
We have an amazing team of men and women.
Okay.
And, you know, we all have our little, you know, moments.
Right.
But there's not a thing that we have to worry about when we're doing a show, who's doing what, how it's getting done. It's just, we can't thank the ladies of Team Skyy enough, the men and the women. But what I want to also say for these up and coming, you know, if you're not going to invest your money or get a business, you better pay into the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get a day job, part-time job, or whatever, because during the pandemic, as you spoke about, there was a lot of artists that were hurting
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
because
yeah.
they depended upon that gig money
Yeah.
for life. Because people always ask, well, you know, how did you deal with it? I said,
Day
well,
job.
Day job.
hear
You know,
that,
we
yeah.
came off
Yeah.
the road. We worked.
My mother
you
always
know?
said, your voice could go at any
That's
time.
right.
She said, learn how to type.
We
Right,
worked.
right.
So,
And you're right.
That's right. So we didn't,
Definitely.
you know, we didn't hurt. But so many independent artists I know of were just devastated
Learning
Right.
how to sing,
during
yeah.
the pandemic because they had nothing to fall,
Back
you
on.
know, nothing to fall back on. So if you don't want a 9 to 5, you better invest your money. You better get a little small business. You better
401k,
401k,
savings plan.
pay
Life
Uncle
insurance.
Sam.
Life insurance, y'all,
Life
please.
insurance, health insurance, pay Uncle
The whole
Sam.
scenario.
Health insurance.
Yeah.
You
Right,
gotta
yeah.
do,
Yeah.
you know, all of those things because you never know
Right.
when the business of music is not
Slips
your
out from
business any longer.
Right.
Okay. Achievements. Now, you guys have gathered a lot of achievement through the years. Can you tell the viewers about some of those?
Well, I think I was most happy about that gold album
Yeah,
and
wow.
that gold
Oh,
yeah.
single.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it was announced that we had achieved gold status for the Skyline album,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
and gold
And it was
status
quick,
for
too.
the single "Call Me,"
was-
and I think we even had it overseas.
South, we
Right.
got a
Yeah,
South,
It's in
South Africa. We got
you
a
know,
gold.
to you.
went to gold,
Right.
Yeah,
went gold.
yeah,
You know what I
went
mean?
gold,
And
so-
anything #1. So we had 3 #1s. We had "Call Me," "Start of a Romance," and "Real Love." All went to #1 on the R&B charts.
Okay.
So
And being able to cross over into the pop charts.
Then
was
the
amazing.
unsung,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
the unsung
Ooh,
was
that was-
such
Well, the
a
unsung
honor.
was incredible.
Yeah, thank
And it's
you.
funny because it aired on March 16th,
When they-
2020.
13th,
no,
16.
she's correct.
when they shut the
When they shut the shut the city
shut the
down.
world
The day,
down.
the
Yeah.
day
The
the
day-
earth stood still for COVID.
Yes.
Exactly.
Was the day our so
unsung
that means
show.
people had to stay home and they
Exactly.
could watch us.
Yeah.
Would you say domestically that the United States showed a different love than you guys going overseas, or was it on the same scenario?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. In the beginning, we were more beloved by the southern states. Everybody
Okay.
south
Oh,
of
yeah.
D.C.
See?
Was
Kentucky,
feeling Skyy.
South Carolina,
It took
North
a long
Carolina,
time for the
Virginia.
Northeast region
Yes.
to really appreciate us. Interestingly, and it wasn't probably till "Call Me." 5th album. By the time "Call Me" came out,
Right.
then we started getting love on, in the northeastern states. But we were most embraced in the beginning of our careers
further
by
over, yeah, the
by
Kentucky.
Yeah,
yes,
you know,
and
down
even West Coast,
Tennessee, West
you know,
Coast, yeah.
yeah, we were very much embraced. But for us, it was very interesting to go overseas. We went to Nigeria,
Nigeria,
with Skyy,
Rome.
and as Ladies of Skyy, we've been there
Japan.
twice. We went to Japan,
Right.
Germany,
Germany,
Holland.
Holland.
Italy was amazing.
Italy.
I can imagine.
We did a TV show in
Yeah.
Italy, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And we filmed
Okay.
we filmed one. We went to this club called in Montecatini, and they were filming what was supposed to be a New Year's Eve show. And we were on that bill with Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Really?
which
Yes.
was amazing. That was so much fun.
But like it was always a shock to go overseas,
Right. Oh,
especially when
yeah.
we went to Japan and people were
Still
like,
sing,
Singing
they
in
couldn't
English.
they were
speak
singing,
English,
right?
but they were singing in
singing our
English.
songs in
Yeah.
But
English.
they give you all a good reception.
Oh,
when you
absolutely.
get up
Wonderful.
there.
We
Absolutely.
were very
Yeah,
well
even in
received.
So that's the
France.
difference. I noticed that a lot of artists here say they're here,
Yes.
but when they go over, like I was speaking to Leroy Burgess about that,
Yes.
and he was
yes.
telling me, you know, I'm just here, but I'm really over there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
And-
Leroy's point is, as far as appreciation as legends,
Right.
Yeah.
is
Right.
the point I think I would love to make on that front, right?
Yes.
Because as artists tend to get a little bit older, there is a narrow opportunity for touring and that sort of thing. And basically, like the Lakesides, the Confunctions,
The
Right.
the Zaps, you know what I'm saying? Those artists always kind of get the play when it comes to live,
Right,
live
right.
performances and concerts. And some artists are not as, as looked upon. So yes, when you go overseas, you'll get a
a whole
3-week,
different-
4-week solid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
When,
Right.
Solid
when we went
tour
to France,
because they appreciate the music
we went
so
to France
much.
last year, and they were,
Place
and then
was
we went
packed.
first at the Ladies of Skyy, and when you talk a meet and greet,
Ooh.
they're coming with bags of your
Of all the
of your,
albums.
Of your
every
merch.
album that you ever made,
For you for to put a
and
signature
your
on.
sign.
Yeah.
and when I'm saying bags,
Right.
every
crazy.
album, and that's.
Yeah.
And then we went again at Skyy last year, and it was the same thing.
Yeah.
People are coming with, now they're coming with their CDs, but some of them still have
Right.
LPs.
Yeah.
So their appreciation for
Like the legends.
the legends, as you say, it's great. It's
Right.
fantastic.
So what's up? As far as current events, what are you guys up to now? What's coming up?
Well,
What's
As
coming
you
up?
said, we got a
We
show.
got-
I think you have a show today.
You know what? We have the very deep pleasure of being two entities in one. We're
Right.
Ladies of Skyy
And they're
and
just
we're
Skyy.
Skyy.
Right.
Ever since we did the reunion concert in 2023, I think it
Yeah,
was,
Cutting Room.
with the band, which was prompted by us sort of doing something in memoriam for our drummer, Tommy McConnell, who passed away in 2022. So now we get to be Skyy and Ladies of Skyy. So we've got a couple of Ladies of Skyy dates coming
Right.
up. But the biggest thing we're going to be doing in 2025 is the band Skyy is going to be on the Soul Train cruise, and we're very happy to have been
Yeah, that's going to be
invited
big
that.
That's gonna be
because
That's big.
I talked to Austin, man. I was going to get the band down here with you guys.
And that is good.
That would be a
really
thing. That
exciting.
would be a
And
thing.
then we have a show tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a pleasure, and I mean an honor to really have you three lovely ladies in front of me.
pleasure is
Thank you.
ours.
Tyrone, you family, you family.
You know, I want to shout out to my cousin Helena. You know, and
Who also is a team member.
our team.
Exactly.
I have to give her, she is a member
And
of
Vera,
our
let's not leave
team.
Vera
and
out.
and Donna's still looking for her kazoo.
Oh boy.
You know, so
Well, our bad.
That's
Actually, Austin came downstairs with a whole bag of them, and I was like, put them
No,
things
yeah,
away.
put
And little did I think ahead
Right.
that we should have brought them. But we're going to make good on the promise, I promise.
Absolutely.
okay. Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys on my show. Come again.
We will. We will.
Anytime. Okay.
Absolutely.
And this is another T-Lo video production. The show's called The Legends, and y'all stay tuned for another episode. Thank you.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.